The world of sports, where skill and dedication should matter most, where we expect fairness and equal treatment regardless of a person's skin color, there is an unfortunate truth. Black athletes face racism. Even though they achieve great success, they are still targeted with racial abuse. In 1997, Roberto Carlos was racially abused while playing his first Clásico for Real Madrid. Barcelona fans made monkey chants every time he touched the ball, held up racist banners, and even scratched the word monkey on his car as a special treat for him to find later. No charges or punishments were issued, and if, after complaining publicly, Carlos was hoping for a little professional solidarity at this most harrowing of moments, he was out of luck. Pep Guardiola, who was a defensive midfielder for Barcelona at the time, sided with the Barcelona fans. He said, "This man talks a lot, he talks too much, he doesn't know our fans, and he hasn't been here for long enough to justify these things." 2 decades has passed since this incident, and it would be nice to imagine we have made some progress since then. That black footballers would be able to go about their business in one of the world's biggest leagues without having to negotiate the horrific obstacle course of racism, that the game itself would not be quite so eager to play it down. Recent events show that society has not made as much progress in fighting racism as we might hope. Black footballers who inspire millions with their skills and dedication face disgusting racial abuse on and off the field. One such player is Vinicius Jr., who has faced the harsh realities of racial abuse while playing for Real Madrid. Before we go into the video, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel to keep informed of our eye-opening black narrative. Vinicius José Paixão de Oliveira Jr. quickly made a name for himself with his incredible skills and contagious enthusiasm. As a talented Brazilian forward, he captured the attention of fans worldwide with his lightning-fast speed and impressive dribbling abilities. His rise to fame began at Flamengo before joining Real Madrid, solidifying his status as one of the most promising young players in the world. Sadly, Vinny Jr.'s journey has been marred by racism. As a young black player, he has endured hurtful insults, taunts, and discriminatory treatment both on and off the field. It's hard to pinpoint the exact day Vinny Jr. started being targeted by opposition fans for abuse. However, we can say the first time it got media coverage was with monkey chants at Mallorca's Sun Moy Stadium in early 2023, then shouts during a moment of silence for the Turkey and Syria earthquake, and even an effigy of him hung from a motorway bridge near Real's training ground in January, bedecked in the red and white of Atletico Madrid. The most recent is the racial abuse he faced during Real Madrid's loss to Valencia in May 2023. But this has been going on for more than a year. What's even more distressing is that this mistreatment has become a routine for Vinny Jr. It's like a horrible performance that he has to endure every weekend. Although the media covers each incident, people don't seem to understand the bigger problem or feel outraged enough to bring about change. There is not enough anger, urgency, or self-reflection to drive the necessary change. It's truly shocking to see that one of the world's best footballers is being sacrificed week after week, hunted and harassed for the entertainment of those who simply don't want to see his black skin. We need to ask who is responsible for addressing this issue. Why aren't there punishments like deducting points, banning fans from stadiums, or imposing heavy fines? The football authorities like Spanish FA have only launched investigations with soft punishments which are not enough to mitigate the problem. In Spain and other European countries, the problem of racism in football continues to grow at an alarming rate. Despite the efforts to combat it, many people still hold a misguided belief that racist abuse is somehow acceptable or less serious when it happens in the context of a sporting event. One example of this disturbing attitude occurred during a match between Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid in September. Atletico fans were caught on camera chanting racist insults like, "Vinicius, you are a monkey," towards the Real Madrid player. The prosecutor's office in Madrid, however, chose not to press charges. Their reasoning was that the chanting, although disrespectful, lasted only a few seconds and should be seen as part of the intense rivalry between the clubs. This response is deeply troubling. It reflects a lack of understanding and concern for the impact of racism. It suggests that racist abuse can be excused or trivialized because it occurs during a sporting event. Some even argue that opposing fans engage in such behavior to gain a competitive advantage by trying to provoke a reaction from the targeted player. In this case, Vinny Jr., who has occasionally reacted to these provocations. To make matters worse, there are those who claim that Vinny Jr. himself somehow invites these racist attacks through his on-pitch antics, showboating, and celebratory dances. In September, a guest on the popular television show El Chiringuito de Jugones said, with either maximum irony or none at all, that he should stop playing the monkey. This viewpoint is both ignorant and offensive. It suggests that the victim of racism is somehow responsible for the abuse they receive, blaming them for the actions of others. These attitudes and excuses surrounding racism in Spanish football need to be challenged. The fact that La Liga, the governing body of Spanish football, argues that it is powerless to enforce sporting sanctions and instead defers all cases to the justice system is concerning. It indicates a lack of commitment to tackling the issue effectively. Racist abuse should never be justified or downplayed, regardless of the context in which it occurs. It is a deeply harmful and dehumanizing form of discrimination that has no place in any society, let alone in sports. The condemnation by Atletico Madrid of their own fans comes with a condition that emphasizes the responsibility of everyone involved in ensuring harmonious relations between the two clubs. However, in the media coverage of Vinny Jr.'s behavior, there is often a troubling focus on his actions as if they are equivalent to the abuse he receives. This approach diminishes his essential humanity, reducing it to a mere subject of debate on talk shows. This situation serves as a classic example of gaslighting, where victims of racism are not only subjected to abuse, but also made to feel complicit in their own mistreatment. Every week, the stakeholders in football express their concerns and insist that something must be done to tackle racism. Yet, week after week, Vinny Jr. continues to play amidst a chorus of boos, whistles, and often even more sinister forms of abuse. Racism has always chosen its targets unfairly, and to some extent we might expect his talent, fame, and wealth to offer him a certain level of protection. However, his treatment raises a pressing question. If football cannot protect a player like Vinny Jr., what chance does it have in safeguarding the well-being of any other individual? The most chilling act of racism towards the player was in the last games of the 2022-23 La Liga season. In May 2023, during a league match against Valencia at Mestalla, Vinny Jr. was subjected to racial abuse from Valencia supporters, an event that led to significant controversy and the eventual identification and permanent banning of 2 fans involved in the incident. This incident incited a broader conversation on racism within La Liga, as he publicly condemned the league for what he perceived as normalization of racism and advocated for more stringent measures and penalties to combat racist behavior. Vinny Jr. isn't the only black player that has to deal with the racial slurs and boos from the stands. Raheem Sterling, a talented English footballer, has been subjected to racist abuse both on and off the field. During a Premier League match in December 2018, he was targeted by opposing fans who shouted racial slurs at him. Sterling has also spoken out about discriminatory media coverage that unfairly portrays black players. Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time Formula One world champion, has also faced racism throughout his career. He has been the target of racial slurs on social media platforms and has been subjected to racist gestures during races. Serena Williams is another accomplished sports player that has faced racism throughout her career. She has been the target of racist remarks from opponents and spectators. The impact of racism on the mental health of black athletes cannot be overestimated. The constant abuse they endure takes a toll on their emotional well-being, crushing their self-confidence and love for the game. Regardless of their incredible talent, they are haunted by the psychological scars inflicted by racist incidents. The fight against discrimination becomes an invisible burden that they carry both on and off the field. Another aspect of racism in sports is the unequal treatment of black athletes compared to their white counterparts. Despite their achievements and contributions to the game, black players often face harsher criticism and judgment for their mistakes or perceived shortcomings. In 2021, Bukayo Saka was subjected to racist abuse after he missed the last penalty in England's heartbreaking loss. The 19-year-old Arsenal star came off the bench and took the 5th penalty during their shootout defeat to Italy. Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho were both targets of the abuse after they missed spot kicks in a penalty shootout. This unfair double standard not only diminishes their accomplishments, but also perpetuates the false notion that they are somehow inferior to their white teammates. To truly address racism in sports, we must collectively work for change. It begins with educating ourselves and raising awareness about the damaging effects of racism on Black athletes. Sporting organizations and clubs must implement strict policies against racism, ensuring that anyone found guilty of racial abuse faces severe consequences. Additionally, fans and spectators must actively denounce racism and report incidents to create a safer environment for all players. Together, let us build a future where the color of one's skin never hinders success or respect in the world of sports. As always, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to keep informed of our eye-opening Black narrative. Thanks for watching.